everybody, this is Justin with Constantly Calibrating with Adam Saltsman from Finji Games.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great, man. So how's RTX 2015 treating you?
It's actually been great. Our booth has been pretty much full of everybody playing our games, and it's been kind of hard to get them to leave.
Awesome.
Which is the best problem. We're feeling really good about it.
That's the problem you want.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a lot of problems that we don't want, but we won't get into that.
Right.
So we're here at RTX 2015. What games did you bring with us?
We actually have 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
We're a local Austin developer and publisher.
Awesome.
So we brought my game, Overland, which I've been working on for about 2 years with a bunch of other developers here in Austin.
Okay.
And we also brought 3 games that we're doing publishing, distribution, marketing for. Feist, which is sort of a survival action platformer.
Okay.
Created by 2 Swiss indies over the course of the last 7 years. It's just completely gorgeous. We brought Night in the Woods, which is already pretty hyped. It's been at E3 at the Sony booth for the last couple of years, but a very strong story game. It's the funniest, prettiest game I've ever played, and it's just an honor to have them be kind of under our umbrella. We also brought Panoramical, which is like an interactive musical experience. It's sort of like Fantasia for video games. It's an album of interactive alien landscapes where the sound and the visuals are intrinsically linked, and you have control over 16 individual like parameters or channels to mutate those landscapes around you, and sort of rather than exploring a pre-built landscape, kind of explore the way that the alien world is built around you.
I'm trying to process that right now.
It's pretty hard to put into words, but the main sound that people make when they play is they don't really get it at first, and then they go, oh. And which is my favorite sound. That's all I want to hear from people playing it.
All right, well, I was going to ask what's about each game, but you covered them all in one go. So we didn't touch that much on Overland, though. So let's dive into this. This one's your baby, right? Yeah,
Overland's my thing. It's kind of I wouldn't say it's my dream game, but it's definitely one of my dream games. It's been an amazing chance. A bunch of stars aligned, and we've been able to bootstrap the entire game for the last couple of years, and working with a bunch of super brilliant people. And it's kind of XCOM meets Oregon Trail. It's squad-based, turn-based, tactical survival, road trip roguelike. I know it's a busy genre, but
let's say, we got the email about it. Like, you know, Oregon Trail, you got XCOM. I love Oregon Trail. I love XCOM.
Yeah. I'm a big XCOM fan, big Front Mission fan, big Final Fantasy Tactics fan. A lot of those games, though, are very stats heavy, and that lends a lot of gravity to the decision making. There's lots of gnarly variables to take into account. I love all that stuff, but I feel like there's definitely a lot of people who I think would love these games, but maybe the stats or the setting are kind of a turnoff. So a high fantasy setting or a sci-fi setting or whatever. So we've got a real world setting. We don't have a lot of numbers or stats, but we've managed to find other ways to keep the gameplay depth very high and keep the life or death decision making right at the forefront. And I'm just really happy with how it's turning out. It's basically an approachable tactics game in a real world setting. And I don't know, the response has been very good so far, and it'll be out next year. Oh, can't wait. So let's talk a bit more about Finji Studios. How big are y'all? Finji technically is just me and my wife Rebecca, and we work here in Austin, and we've been doing this basically full time since 2008, 2007, something like that. Even though it's just the 2 of us, we work with people from all over the world. The Feist team is 2 people from Switzerland. Night in the Woods team is 3 people from Vancouver and Pittsburgh. And Panoramical team is the core team is based out of Berkeley and nowhere. The other guy is just a roving nomad. He's in any of 3 continents at any given time. And the rest of that team is from the UK, Japan, Finland, and a few other places. So we collaborate with people from all over the world and just try to find things that are special, that have a special look and a feel, were made with love, and kind of try to do something new.
Well, what's that? How do you make these contacts?
Drinking? No.
Best way.
Kind of, these are just the people that I like to meet, a lot of them. They're... we go to conventions and conferences, and we've been doing that since about 2007, and have been really active in some online communities. Back way back in the day, there was an online community called TigSource, which is where Minecraft came from and a bunch of other things. That was an amazing community. And so friends we've made through there, we get to meet face-to-face at some of these bigger conventions. Right. And a lot of them, like a lot of the collaborators on Panoramical are people that we've worked with before on freelance jobs. The programmer and musician on Night in the Woods has been a friend of ours for almost a decade now. Oh, wow. And we produced an educational game with him last year. So there's kind of a growing network of people with whom we are real-life friends and who also happen to be just marvelously talented and interesting people. Overland is actually an exception in that way, where we deliberately started going outside of that circle and looking for new people that we wouldn't have worked with otherwise to help kind of bring in a fresh look and a fresh feel. Something that I'm not really capable. I'm like a 33-year-old white guy who grew up watching 80s movies. Like, no matter how hard I try, the work I produce is going to have a certain feel, which I love and I feel really good about. But I know, I don't know. I like working with younger people because that's part of our audience, and that's part of our audience that I'm necessarily kind of like. I have kids, so like there's a certain audience that I have a hard time understanding, and having this kind of younger, more diverse team is just amazing. It's been really great.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And you're probably watching this on youtube.com/ConCalPod. You can check out all of our information on constantlycalibrating.com, extra articles, all that stuff. And Finji, where can we find you at?
Just Finji.co, and that's kind of our hub for everything. You can find all our games there. You can find our Twitter accounts there, and on pretty much everything we're FinjiCo. Twitter.com/FinjiCo, Twitch.com/FinjiCo. We're on Facebook at FinjiCo. All of the places where you follow people, we're on there, and you can find not a lot of spam, but there's a lot of development updates, development streams, guest game developers playing Overland for the first time, which is pretty funny. There's a lot of disasters, a lot of dying alone in the wilderness, weird gameplay bugs, just kind of it's a little peek behind the scenes at what we do and how we do it, plus some trailers and launch dates and stuff.
Gotcha. All right, well, this is signing off.
Thank you.
Stay classy.